Good day, everyone. My name is Kayla, and I'm content producer with Leader Associates, and welcome to the SAF APAC Summit interview channel. And today, I'm honored to be joined by Mr. Stephen Forshaw, Senior Vice President and the Chief Representative for Airbus in Australia, New Zealand, and the Pacific. Hi, Stephen. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Kayla. Nice to be here.
Yeah, and to begin, please briefly introduce yourself and share a bit about your role at Airbus.
Yes, so hi, I'm Stephen Forshaw. I lead Airbus's businesses and our presence in Australia, New Zealand, and the South Pacific. It is a very big market for Airbus. We have a lot of airline customers, a lot of defense customers, and we also have a lot of our helicopter operators in this part of the world. Aviation is critical to the ability to connect people in the Pacific. It's a very large area of planet, but there's a lot of ocean, and the ability to connect people with the essentials of life, medical supplies, food, and so on, relies on aviation. And so Airbus plays a very important role in the products that we make, are helping to connect people with essential goods and services in the Pacific.
Thank you, Stephen. And the Airbus has set ambitious targets around the net zero aviation by 2050. Could you share what you see as the key pathways to achieve this goal and how important the SAF is within this vision?
So the important point to achieve for the industry to achieve net zero by 2050, there is no single magic bullet. There's going to need to be a range of areas where the industry works together to build. One of the areas that Airbus is playing a role is developing new, more fuel efficient aircraft. So as fuel efficiency improves, emissions reduce. And each generation of our aircraft is roughly 20 to 25% more fuel efficient than the last. So as airlines take new aircraft, their fuel efficiency improves and their carbon efficiency also improves. But the big game changer will be the development and use of sustainable aviation fuel. The beauty of sustainable fuel is that it can replace, on a litre for litre basis, existing jet kerosene. So even in small quantities, we can start having an impact by replacing 1-2% of the fuel that we're using today with this new generation of sustainable fuels made primarily from biological products, agricultural waste, forestry waste, used cooking oil, ethanol that's converted from things like sugarcane. So all of these products can be used to make these new synthetic fuels that help to replace petroleum as the chemical propellant that we use to power aircraft. They are just as efficient, they are just as safe as the fuels that we use today, but have a much lower carbon footprint, up to 80% less carbon emissions.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. And the scaling SAF requires both strong public policy and a significant private sector investment. So, from your perspective, how should these two forces balance to effectively drive SAF growth?
So across Asia Pacific, we're going to need to see governments settle supportive policy that allows for SAF to be produced in the region and used and uptaken by airlines. And that those policies need to support in such a way that we get the price of the offtake of sustainable fuels as low as possible. We know in the short term, getting SAF to be as cheap as jet fuel will be very challenging. But we need to take every step we can to help reduce the cost of production of SAF in this part of the world. We need to encourage more private investment flows, investment capital coming in to support the development of the industry. And we need to provide fuel that is competitively priced for the airlines to be able to use and be able to then reduce their own carbon emission footprint. So all of that requires supportive government policy. It requires partnerships and collaboration in industry, and it requires willing customers, airlines that are prepared to pay hopefully a modest premium, not an excessive premium, to be able to take the SAF and use it.
Yeah, definitely. And the pace of self-development varies widely across the APAC region. So, how is Airbus working with governments and industry stakeholders, particularly in Australia and New Zealand, to accelerate momentum and build a regional capacity?
So, one of the things that we're actively doing in this part of the world is looking to catalyze new SAF opportunities. So, Airbus is actually playing a role, particularly in Australia, with a partnership we have with the national carrier here, Qantas, to jointly invest in businesses that are seeking to develop new SAF production capacity in Australia. We're looking at these partnerships extending beyond Australia into the Asia Pacific region more widely. We see huge opportunities because of Asia's abundance of feedstock, agricultural waste, municipal waste, biological material that can be used to convert into fuel. We are rich in that feedstock in our part of the world. We now need to turn our attention to the refining and production capacity to turn these fuels into a reality.
Yeah, thank you very much for the detailed sharing. And as we all know, Airbus is a global leader with extensive partnerships. Could you share an example of how Airbus is leveraging these global collaborations to advance self-development or border decarbonization efforts in the APAC region?
So, one of the areas that we are very proud to be working with our customers on is actually on direct partnerships by the airline with us, the manufacturer, so that when an airline takes delivery of a new fleet of aircraft, a new modern fleet of aircraft, we're also working with them on their own carbon journeys. So, as airlines want to decarbonize, we're leaning in and working with them on their own carbon offsets and reduction programs. That partnership is something we're very proud of. We have extensive partnerships with our customers around the world, including here in the Asia Pacific region. We're looking to do more. We want to build more. And it's also allowing us now to extend those partnerships beyond the airlines into the wider ecosystem, the platform of companies that are helping to develop and make SAF production in our region real and tangible.
Thank you so much for your insight, Stephen. And it's clear that Airbus is playing a pivotal role in advancing sustainable aviation in this region. And we look forward to see the continued progress towards a clean aviation future. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.